and welcome to Tabletop 24. I'm down here with Terence, local to the Manascrew and Manascrew Crazy Brew crew. I thought it'd be really good to get Terence on the channel. You may have seen him previously before, and actually get his story on how he got into Flesh and Blood, and also his journey to be here at Nationals this weekend, because I think it's quite a special one, and it's quite unique to Flesh and Blood. So, Terence, when did you get into Flesh and Blood?
About the 22nd of August, roughly. Yeah, I saw your stream. I think, as I mentioned on the previous time I was on your video. Watched your stream, was interested in the game after watching it, and just started playing, and then yeah, just kind of fell in love with the game. It's a very good game. I love the balance of it. I love that you don't feel like you can't do anything. It's very rare that you feel until it's the very end of a game where you're down to the last few life each. That's when you feel like at that point where someone's going to win or lose. That's the only time you ever really feel like you can't do much. And occasionally you get the odd turn where your hand's a bit weird, but very, very rarely. So yeah, the game's brilliant. I fell in love with it, and that's how I started, really. Just watching your stream of the Road to Nationals and thinking this looks pretty cool, and that was from not knowing any of the rules, not knowing how it worked. I literally just seen people playing it in the shop, but not really paid much attention. Yeah, but just watching people playing it with not understanding a thing about it was enough to make me think this looks really fun.
Yeah, I think there's tension points, like you say, when you get down to the back end of the game, and you've got that back and forward between people. It's really that it's almost an adrenaline addiction, isn't it, at that point?
Yeah.
So so you said you've started off really early August for the game. So your journey to Nationals is went on quite a ride, didn't it? And did some miles as well.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did a few miles. Yeah. So people were talking about Nationals in the group chat that I got invited into, and they were talking about qualifying for Nationals, and I was like, oh, okay, what's the requirements? And then a few people helped out and told me, and so I looked up on the website, looked at the current XP that was needed, which was like 31 or 33 XP. It wasn't much, and I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. Let's just see. As a new player, can I do it? So I decided to just start there and then, and played at armories here at Manascrew every Monday. Then as it was getting closer to the cut-off and more information was being found out, I realised that the XP was growing and growing. I was like, am I going to make the grind commenced fully? And so yeah, I was just going to as many events as I could in the last 2 weeks leading up, and then just before that, all the Road to Nationals were all pretty much done. There was 2 left. There was one in Living Realms, and another one up in Glasgow. And the one in Living Realms was completely booked up. The one in Glasgow had spaces, but driving from Northampton to Glasgow is a bit of a mission. But then, in a last-minute decision, I said to my partner, I said, would you mind if I disappeared on Sunday to drive to Glasgow and back? She was like, have I got anything you need me to be here for or whatever? And she said no. And so I messaged some of the guys, said, does anybody want to come to Glasgow with me? And Dimitri said, yeah, okay, let's go. So we both drove up there. 4 o'clock in the morning we left. I had an hour's sleep the night before because my dog was awake in the middle of the night. And had a power nap on the way there, half-hour power nap. Got there for it took us about 6.5 hours to get there, so about 10:30. Had the event, went 3-2. Should have been 5-0 because of I was new to the game, so I didn't realise I could ask a judge to come and ask players to hurry up. There was a couple of draws I had where the players were quite slow because they just getting used to playing against my Prism deck, which was a very defensive, control-y deck. So the players' turns were just taking ages, which caused 2 draws, and obviously draws are much worse than losses in this game. And then yeah, so we did that. I got myself 3 wins, which was, for me, I was more than happy with either way. And then drove back the same night and got back at about quarter to midnight.
So your actual your grind didn't really stop there, though, did it? So we were updating our Brew. We got quite a few players on the cusp that were in and out, sort of the top sort of 96 for the cut off for the UK Nationals, and we were updating pretty much bi-daily on the lead in, and I was like, "Oh, Terence, what are you doing this week?" And I think it turned out to most nights of the week you were at some event somewhere
Yeah.
doing something to gain those XP.
The last 2 weeks, it was Manascrew Monday, a local Wargamers event on Tuesday. I think I was doing something on Wednesday. I was trying to find something on Wednesday. I'm struggling. Thursday was at Kingdom, and then Friday was an online ProTech event. So yeah, it was those last 2 weeks was just non-stop, and then anything I could attend at weekends where possible as well. So yeah, my partner has been absolutely amazing throughout the whole thing because she hadn't seen me for a good few months just in the lead up, but especially the last 2 weeks where it was just endless.
Yeah, so you've got some brownie points to be making up after nationals. Then
I've done that, so
oh,
which
you've
is
done
good.
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
which is good.
So yeah, so obviously that was a grind. I think there was probably a bit of toll that's taken. I think. How do you feel about the game at the minute? Are you a bit burnt out with it, or are you just
No,
still joining on it?
Not at all. Absolutely love it. Yeah, like I've not been playing in many events since just the Monday Armories, but because of making things up to my partner. But no, the main thing is I love the game. I'm very much looking forward to nationals this weekend. I'm very confident with my deck, and yeah, it's been one hell of a journey, and I've thoroughly enjoyed every single aspect of it. I've played against some amazing players from all different skill levels, from top 10 in the country all the way down, and learned absolute tons along the way, which has been fantastic. It's like I've had this kind of years of knowledge from when the game started, fast forwarded into from the 22nd of August to present day, or until leading up to now. All that knowledge has just kind of been crammed into my brain.
Yeah. So and I take it obviously. So you've got a lot of card game experience before. So a long time Magic player.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, just Magic. I played some Keyforge. Enjoyed the game, but it wasn't for me. Magic, like I play a lot of Commander. I love Commander. I love the social aspects of card games, but I'm a very competitive person, so Flesh and Blood is kind of scratching my competitive itch, and Magic Commander scratches my social itch. So
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah, that's great, and everybody needs that sort of that balance between that competitive bit and the stuff that you can play casually and things like that. So, which is great. So, obviously, nationals going to be a long weekend. I think you're up all 3 days, like a lot of people are for the battle hard. And
Going up first thing Friday morning.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so that's going to be good. So, what are you hoping to see at nationals? What sort of heroes were you hoping to come up against, or what do you think the environment's going to be like?
Interesting question. I think there's going to be a lot of OG heroes, a lot of warrior Dories, Bravos, Bravo OG.
Yep.
Yeah. So Bravo, Katsu, Dorinthia, very solid heroes. They've had some good support with certain sets, and they're just good, strong heroes because they've been around for so long. The people that play them know them inside and out. They're very intimate with their decks, and they fully understand them. That being said, you've got Lexi, which I think can be powerful, but is not quite there, not quite tier 0 or tier 1. You've got Oldhim, which is a great deck if played well, but very hard to. I think Bravo's stronger in some ways. And then you've got Briar, who's pretty nuts. Briar's quite strong in terms of, I mean, it's just Runeblade, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Runeblade's strong.
yeah.
And then other heroes. I think Dash. We might see some Dash. Dash is quite good. Like every hero has got a chance, apart from poor Azalea and poor Kano. Although I did play Kano in CC last week, which was a lot of fun. Now I understand the game more. And a little bit of history. My very first game of Flesh and Blood was with a Kano CC deck because I wanted to play the hardest deck to play, and it was mind-boggling at that time. And now I understand it more. It's much more fun. And I got one win with it last week against someone.
Yeah, that might well have been me. Who forgot to completely and utterly pack any Norrune into my Oldhim deck. So that was good. But it was a good game, and it was a learning thing for me to remember to pack my Norrune. It's nice to see that there's a lot of variety in the heroes. And if you had to excluding your own deck potentially, what would you see taking over the sort of top two on the top two tables at the end of the weekend?
That's an interesting thought. I would say Bravo's definitely going to be top 8. Bravo's very strong at the moment. Prism is quite strong. Prism was my main. I'm not playing Prism, but Prism's quite strong. And a good player can go far with Prism, as we've seen with the two last callings. But that being said, that's in the United States. They have a very different play style to us. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
But,
and that's one thing I have noticed. The play styles in different countries is very different. The metas in different countries.
Yeah, each continent has its own kind of style. Like, yeah, people love Dash over in the States. Maybe it's because of the guns.
Maybe, but no, it's good. And then, like I say, hopefully we're gonna have a great event. I really do sort of wish you well for the weekend, and hopefully you'll be flying high and representing the Manascrew Crazy Brew crew throughout the weekend.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah, cheers. Take care.